Now, earlier this week, I mentioned that my grandfather was a retired service member, retired Navy, retired police officer, worked Haight-Ashbury, but got his hat sitting behind me there. One of his favorite sayings from when I was a youngster, and I remember this, I can still hear his voice saying it as a kid. Now, honestly, saying it as a kid, saying it as a teenager in my 20s, right? He used to say, well, on the phone, or, he would kind of look and check and be like, boy, I hope you got your shoes. He was from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He'd say, boy, I hope you got your shoes on, because this is going to knock your socks off. Still hear it in his voice. Obviously, horrible impression, but so late. That's true, though. I hope you got your shoes on, because my God, you better sit down. This will definitely knock your socks off. So late last night, I was nearly asleep, trying to catch up on some Z's, and catching up on some other independent media stories from other folks. When I was catching the still bearded one, as I've recently come accustomed to calling him, mentioned something that grabbed my attention, jumped me out of bed, right? Just snapped me awake. He had published a video about the same time that I posted my last one yesterday, which means all likelihood he was reading about the information in his video about the same time that I was catching up on other issues. That thing that Tilda Swinton said. So this section, let's give thanks to Brother Bo of the Fifth Column for basically ruining Little Chainsaw's adventures in Dreamland, but also pointing me toward this ABC News story. Let's take a look at the article. Uvalde Police School District no longer cooperating with Texas probe of shooting. Sources: Texas officials are probing law enforcement's response to last week's massacre. The Uvalde Police Department and the Uvalde Independent School District Police Force are no longer cooperating with Texas Department of Public Safety's investigation into the massacre at Robb Elementary School. In the state's review of law enforcement response, multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News the Uvalde police chief and a spokesperson for the Uvalde Independent School District did not immediately respond to requests for comment from ABC News. According to sources, the decision to stop cooperating occurred soon after the director of DPS, Colonel Steve McCraw, held a news conference Friday during which he said delayed police entry into the classroom was the wrong decision and contrary to protocol. That's the same press conference that we just talked about. What was yesterday, right? That we had shown. Reached by, and we talked a bunch of shit about. Reached by ABC News, a spokesperson for the Texas Department of Public Safety said the Uvalde Police Department and Uvalde CISD police have been cooperating with investigators. The chief of the Uvalde CISD police provided an initial interview, but has not responded to a request for follow-up interview with the Texas Rangers that was made 2 days ago. Last Tuesday's attack, one of the worst school shootings in U.S. history, left 19 children dead, two adults. Oh, that's it. That's all you get there. So that's it, right? So this decision was made again after the press conference that we showed and that we had talked about just yesterday. I mean, that would explain why the only post that I was able to see that could still be commented about that. It had a little tagline on all the rest of their posts besides their pin post. Said, this post has no longer been disabled for comments by Uvalde Police Department. So the only one that you could comment on was the one that was pinned on their page, and it was full of like thousands of comments. The top ones were ironically comments made by mutual friends of Brother Bo and myself, right? That obviously they basically shut down their social media, but not to the same extreme that we've seen other Missouri police departments when they get bad press. Now, I want to share this also. Brother Bo also had this to say, nearly echoing my sentiments just from yesterday. Let's take a look.
Newsflash, it was the wrong decision and contrary to protocol. With the outcome it had, how could it possibly have been the right decision? That isn't a controversial statement. The people of this community have one option and one option only right now, and that is to disband these departments immediately. If you don't, you are creating a department that is unaccountable. They clearly believe that they are. If this flies, if they are able to stonewall in an investigation in a situation like this, they are above the law.
I literally said this yesterday without even knowing. He already read the article. Like this, I saw this video, and that's how I even knew the article existed. I was just going based on what I saw, with the tasing and the beating up of parents and the handcuffing and the cops going in and saving their own kids and then running out and standing around for an hour and talking about how they needed tactical equipment for a barricaded door, which means it's got a lock on it, and how they weren't equipped with the weapons and armor and tactical gear that they would need from SWAT, even though they're all dressed like fucking SWAT. I didn't even read the article. I didn't even know it existed until I saw this video, and we could love this guy.
The only option that will have a positive outcome is to disband this department, even if they start cooperating tomorrow.
Boom.
As far as the Texas Department of Public Safety, they should probably start proceeding with this as if it's a criminal investigation.
What? I said that.
That seems like the logical choice at this point.
Impeding an investigation, at least, accessory? Just based on what I saw, I would say accessory. Yeah. Just based on what I saw, not just the fact that they were keeping folks away from it, but that they were keeping folks away from it, and now they are impeding an investigation. That would make them an accessory. All those officers should be charged. Not the department, the individual officers who were there should be charged. That police chief should be charged. Bunch of fucking terrorists.
There seems to be an effort to put out information that is less than accurate. I would suggest that maybe there is something that we don't know. And a friendly probe within the thin blue line may not be the way to go about this. It probably needs to shift. This is an extreme reaction to a very, very simple statement. There is no way you can look at what happened and think the right decisions were made. Now, whether or not you think that those decisions made in the heat of the moment, are excusable, well, that's up for discussion. But believing they were the right ones, that it wasn't the wrong decision, I don't see how anybody can believe that, given the outcome. If the people of this community don't act, they will be under the thumb of a department that is accountable to nobody.
And there you have it, folks. Brother Bo. I had also seen, and this is just hearsay, of course. This is just hearsay. But I had actually seen someone make the reference to, I don't even know if I should say it. Someone had asked if perhaps while trying to secure the room, one of the officers may have accidentally shot one of the students. Again, just hearsay, something I caught on social media. no evidence toward it, just simply something that someone had said. No evidence, to indicate. But I mean, that's the sort of shit that people come up with when something like this happens and the police do say nothing, don't cooperate with the investigation, just cover up and lie. And that's when all the kooky conspiracy theories start coming up. And I mean, boy, wouldn't you hate to find out that just like we did previously, that the wildest parts of this story are not exactly kooky conspiracy theories, but are actually true. I'm just saying, not saying that the thing that I just said is true, but we did find out that some of the other things were true. So, and as if that wasn't bad enough, here's Shimon Prokupec finally catching up to Chief Arredondo. This was published today, I believe by CNN. Let's take a look.
I want to talk to you about your decision and what the DPS director said.
How's it going? Good, I'm Pete. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I want to talk to you about your decision and what department we're doing, but just to let y'all know, and I just spoke with you. I know you did. Well, you're not blocking me, are you? No.
Oh, you're not blocking me, are you? Guy can't stop being a cop even when he's, in hot water. But let's continue.
No, just so you all know, obviously, we're not going to release anything. We have people in our community being buried. So we're going to be respectful.
I just want your reaction
we're going to be
the Director McGraw saying that you were responsible for the decision.
Right. We're going to be.
Let's go back a little bit here.
I just want your reaction.
Community being buried. So we're not going to release anything. We have people in our community being buried.
We're not going to release anything. We have people in our community being buried. So, journalists need to be respectful. That's why we haven't been saying anything, is because we don't want anybody's feelings hurt. These fucking parents want answers. God damn it. What an asshole.
We're going to be respectful.
I just want your reaction
we're going to be
the Director McGraw saying that you were responsible for the decision.
Right. We're going to be
that room. How do you explain yourself?
We're going to be respectful to the family.
I understand that, but you have an opportunity to explain yourself to the parents.
And just so you know, we're going to do that eventually, obviously. Whenever this is done and we let the families quit grieving, then we'll do that, obviously. And
nothing to see here. Move along, folks. Everything's under control. Get the fuck out of here.
Just so everybody knows, we've been in contact with DPS every day. Just so you all know.
They say that you're not cooperating.
I've been on the phone with them every day.
So they say you're not cooperating.
Just so you know, we've been talking to them every day.
What is your reaction?
Y'all have a good day.
What is your reaction, sir?
And of course, running away, the classic maneuver. They've been on the phone. They've been in contact with DPS every day. He has been on the phone with them every day. That's a hell of a statement. He's been on the phone with DPS every day. I mean, the one conclusion that we can draw here is that on one side or the other, as if that really mattered, cops are lying about what happened in Uvalde, Texas. Cops are either covering their asses despite 19 dead children. Cops are lying to cover their asses. Let me know in the comments if you think it was the cowardly cops who tried to cover for the other cowardly cops in the first place, or if it's these cops who lied about what they did and the locked door that turned out, or the unlocked door, the open door that turned out it wasn't open, it was shut, and we can confirm that. We have the eyewitnesses that can confirm that it was shut, but that it doesn't lock, but they said it was open. And no. Let me know in the comments what you think. Your comments may be featured on the Friday episode segment of best of social media comments. But Jesus Christ, the one thing that we can draw from here is the cops lie, and it's just disgusting. I can't say enough about how horrible all levels of law enforcement available to the people of Uvalde truly are, top to bottom. Just sickening. And then there's this. Uvalde School District calls police to threaten CNN with criminal trespass if they don't leave property. What? Well, I guess somebody got their feelings hurt. This may have just answered that question. The Uvalde Independent School District really does not want to talk to the media about their police department's response to May 24 shooting at Robb Elementary School. And this is from Mediaite. By going so far as telling Uvalde police, telling CNN, threatening a reporter and his camera crew with criminal trespass. Earlier Wednesday, CNN correspondent Shimon Prokipec had confronted Uvalde. We just read that, saw it, with regard to that decision. Arredondo dodged Prokipec's questions, claiming they were waiting to release information until the victims could be buried and that they had been communicating with DPS every day. Contrary to recent reports from the Uvalde ISD police and Uvalde Police Department were now refusing to cooperate with DPS. Prokipec reported on his interaction with Arredondo on CNN Newsroom Wednesday morning and posted several tweets following up on the report. Spokesperson for Uvalde ISD provided a statement to CNN, and Prokipec noted contradicted DPS's statement that Arredondo was not returning their calls. School spokesperson came out to us before a live shot to say the school will release a statement. She refused to answer my repeated questions about the door not locking. This is from Shimon Prokipec's Twitter. Here's the statement they released that he mentioned. It addresses none of the questions. They say they're cooperating with investigators. DPS told reporters yesterday the police chief has not returned the calls. On behalf of Uvalde's, I want to quick update for our UCISD family. Funerals of our beloved students. We're heartbroken over the loss of teachers and students, and we hold each of their family members close to our heart. The outpouring of love. We want to express our sincere gratitude. We'll forever be thankful. They truly have been a light in the darkness. We know there are questions. We're going to continue providing counseling and support to families. We know that our lives will never be the same. Students and staff will not be returning to Robb Elementary campus. We're working through our plans on how to serve students. We're also working with agencies. Great. Super informative. UCISD has and will continue to work with law enforcement who are investigating the event and realize the questions remain, the statement said, because the investigation is ongoing and information is evolving. We're going to reserve comment until all state and federal agencies have completed their review. The statement also noted the students and staff would not be returning to the Robb Elementary campus, and the district was working through plans on how to serve students. At some point, after providing statements to Prokipec, the Uvalde ISD called the city police department to get CNN to leave their property. And we've got the video from his Twitter feed. Let's take a look here.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to let you know, Uvalde PD's en route. Sure. Once they get here, they'll start issuing criminal trespasses for the property.
Yeah, they want us to give you guys the initial warning. Okay. And then if you guys are still present, then they're going to issue criminal trespass.
Because they themselves have asked y'all to leave, so. Okay.
Stand on the sidewalk, bro. Wow. Officers with Uvalde ISD police told him Prokipec and his camera crew, the city, were on their way. We just saw that. Guillermo Contreras, Uvalde ISD, our ISD Chief Pete Arredondo at school district offices. District officials say their building is private property and have police order media off the lot. Try again. Same user security detail forms outside Uvalde School District offices as Uvalde School District Police Pete Arredondo is inside. Boy, and that's the end of the article. Seems like a good place for a protest. I'm just saying. Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. Look, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a cop. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm certainly not your doctor, cop, or financial advisor. This is an entertainment show. I'm a comedian, a bad one. Yeah, seems like a good place for a nice peaceful protest to me. A nice legal, lawful, peaceful protest on the sidewalk. Boy, that's amazing. That's too much for me. Yeah, I got nothing for it. Look, we're gonna take a short break and jump right back into it.